Today, I am with somebody who has shaped my entire life. He has molded my life like clay, and he has been guiding me into the man that I've become today. Without his guidance, I don't know what type of person I'd ever become. But with Father's Day coming up tomorrow, I'm proud to be able to call this man my father. But without further ado, you should introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, my name is Deseo, Senior, as they call him. But then they call me Bong. And I cannot only say, but I am a dad to my kids, which I love them very much, and a father figure for them.
Pretty good.
That's good.
All right, Pops. So, thank you for supporting the podcast and for watching, for being one of the listeners that likes, subscribes, but also listens to the audio podcast. Great news that I actually never told you and Mom, but I have hit 250 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Wow.
So to get monetized, I need to get 1,000. So it's slowly growing, and it took about a year to get to 250. So I'm pretty happy. I'm very pleased. So all your hard work is paying off. But
That's great.
without further ado, Pops, just like with every other guest, we're going to play Let's Get Deep.
Okay.
So it's 3 questions of icebreaker, deep, and deeper. So
I'm going to start with this one.
yeah, icebreaker.
Do I need to read this one?
Yeah, you read it, and then you answer it for the audience.
Oh, do you prefer to text, call, or video chat? I, once in a while, do all of this one.
Yeah, that's right. You're terrible with phone communication, Pops. Yeah.
And I said that I like to watch video. I like to chat a little bit, but most of the time I was like, what in the world am I doing? Sometimes I'm not answering all of those, those telephone calls that Mom did. And she was so mad at me on that time.
Yeah. Yeah, so you sometimes it takes you almost a week to reply to text messages. But that's okay. That's okay. Moving on to level 2, Pops, we'll go with deep.
Deep. What did you think about before going to sleep last night? Oh, the truth is I was thinking about when I found out that Bo is going to put me in a podcast. I was what is that? I was kind of worried, or I've been have a anxiety, or and I said, whatever, let's do this one.
Yeah,
okay.
I think for Mom it took a little bit of convincing too. But the purpose of today's podcast, Pops, is a lot of your knowledge and your insights and the questions I'll ask.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that it'll give the people who don't have a father kind of some advice, and it's because you'd be giving me advice. It's like they would get advice vicariously because of our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And just to show that display of, fatherly love and son, or the father-son bond. I can't speak English, Pops. Father-son bond that we have. And maybe it'll give them some peace and comfort. So, but moving on to level 3, this is deeper.
Okay. I don't know. How do you imagine a stranger would describe you? It's gonna be
This one's pretty deep.
deep, top for me, but I don't know. It's deep and depending probably on the people that I was with, and the other people that they don't know me too. Sometimes they look at me like I'm a good one, but on the other side, they said, you're just telling that he's a good guy, a good man. But the other side is like, oh, he's not. So it depends on the people that I was with all the time. You know, like the way I mingled them with them, the way we talk, the way we became a friends to each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just gonna leave it at that. That it's not your business to.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Pops.
Sometimes I just said, "Who cares?"
All right, Pops. Well, moving on from the card game. When you were a kid, what did you want to do?
Okay, but before I answer that, let me just give a thought, like to all the fathers, Happy Father's Day, because I forgot to mention that one.
But yeah, to go back to the question, I know that you were always a very hard worker. I mean, especially growing up, very, very difficult. But let's footnote this and go back to it. Now that you turned 69 or 70?
68.
68. Okay.
I'm getting young.
Getting younger. But now that you're 68, with all the things that you've accomplished and all your wisdom, what life advice would you give your younger self?
Whether you do work, love life, God's life, and the whole life that you said, try to
Adapt and adjust.
adapt and adjust.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can say to my young version.
I was competing in judo,
Mm-hmm.
and I had won 10 matches or 11 matches in a row. And I remember that I lost 3 matches in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and I was very frustrated. And you were came over, and I was crying, and I didn't want you to see me cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you put your hands on my shoulders, and you said, "Son, you have to remember that you have to always be yourself, and you have to adapt to any situation in life."
Mm-hmm.
And that has rang true for finances, for romance, for especially fitness or in fights.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes when I find myself in a hard place, I always tell myself, how can I adapt?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's really intense that you had that same experience, because from a young age, you always had to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
What emotions and thoughts did you have leaving the Philippines into a foreign country?
Oh, it's just only because of those hardships in life that I encountered on the young
age.
I feel like this is not the life that I would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep on praying, that God will give me a means to go. So I said to myself, the time will come. And when it comes, I will just do the best that I can
Mm-hmm.
to work hard and for my family. Things changed when I met your mom, because I don't even know, because I thought you were not gonna get settled together, because we always argue. We always argue at work because we worked together on that time. We're not boyfriend girlfriends on that time, but we just met at work, and then I feel like, ooh, I like her. I like the way she was, but deep inside of me, I'm still hovering up. I was like, stay away, something like, don't show it to her that I really like her, something like that. But I did. So, to make the story short, we became a girlfriend boyfriend, and I said to myself, and on that time I don't believe in marriage.
Mm.
I was like, and she said to me like, let's go have a final touch on this relationship of ours.
Yeah.
She told me like, I want a family. I don't want to play around. Like we're playing around for 2 years, and I want to know what your decision was.
Mm.
I think about it, but and I said, she was so kind to me. The relation is so good. What am I doing? Am I gonna lose her or accept the fact that I'm ready to marry her? So I decide, you know, decision comes in. Okay, let's go and get married, and it changed a lot of us. I go back into Christianity. I work hard. I learned how to be a father
Mm.
to you guys. When you started kids comes out. I feel like this is it. This is the moment that God probably put into myself. Like, you have a real family, and then I got these three kings that I had: AJ, BJ, CJ. And sometimes I was confused how come we put them the names is like AJ, BJ, because sometimes I said I need AJ and it's not supposed to be AJ, it's supposed to be BJ, and I say, what are we doing?
I think most Filipinos tend to do that, Pops. I don't know why. Where it's like triple A or like triple B, but ours. There have been so many times where you would call us by name, and another person would show up, and it's like, not you. So from this point forward, whenever I introduce myself to like friends or new people, I just use my given name, Bo.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do love how we all have nicknames. But I do want to talk about when you said that. I want to go back to where you were talking about ambition. When you were younger, what things did you have planned for your life?
Remember the first thing that I told you is like my first ambition is to become a doctor.
Yeah.
But I know for the fact that I cannot. It's just only a dream. I want to be a doctor. It's only in my mind. But situation wise, there's no way. There's no way to become. So I have a lot of opportunities comes into me, but this not being in that medical field.
Yeah.
So during my high school days, I was, because it's in Olongapo City, it's where the militaries are, the navies. So they have this, what do you call this, apprenticeship. And I applied and I passed. So I became an apprentice and then learning a lot of skills like welding, a lot of mechanical thing, and then going to the different shops, and then but the good thing is they pay you, while you are in there. That's the first thing that we come into a place when I start making money, and I said, oh, this is a good one, but it never lasts long. It's like for a short period, like less than a year, because your grandma said you need to go to America now. So I did. So the purpose is like going to America and work and establish yourself, and I was like thinking about, is it possible that my dreams will come true? My ambition to be a medical professional, something like that. Yeah, it happens though, but it's not the doctor.
Yeah.
It's just like I was like at first, in order for me to be in a hospital where I wanted to get in, I have to start like washing dishes. I was like helper in the kitchen, and I was like cleaning, scrubbing those big things, and I said, oh man, but I'm happy. I said to myself, it's good. I can
Move up from here.
move in this one. So that's what I did. And then they call him the UCSD, that's University of California, San
Yeah.
Diego.
UCSD.
Yeah, USD. And they give me a chance to, like, they have a program, like, you can go to school and then enhancement program. So that's the thing that I started with. So while I was there, I'm from the kitchen, I was promoted to be a supervisor. And then I saw another opportunity that I went to medical records. So I'm stepping up until I went to school again to be a what? How do you call this one? I was like cleaning up those
Surgical assistant.
surgical assistant first, and I said. So I started like cleaning all those instrument, and then I did not graduate in my school because they just took me right away and said, "Say you can start being a surgical, but we cannot pay you the surgical technician's salary because you are not graduated yet." So, but then I already started, and I said, "Yeah, why not?" I took it.
Mm-hmm.
Then when I did finish after like 3 years, I think almost 3 to 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
that is because I'm struggling because you guys, I'm a family man. I have to
Yeah.
feed you guys. But then I said, why not? So I did too. From the lower one up to where I am until I retired.
Yeah.
Which is for me. I said this is a good one already. I did the best that I can for myself. Not the one that I was my ambition to be,
A
but
doctor.
at least related to
Yeah.
the field.
Do you have any regrets about that? Like, do you really, really wish you could be a doctor, or like, since hindsight is 2020, you're satisfied with being you were satisfied with being a surgical assistant?
Yes, I was like, because time is the essence. I'm getting old, and I said to myself, I can still study, but you know what? Until I decided to myself, I'm not gonna go proceed more on those one. It's okay, because in myself on that time is like the only thing matters is like my family,
Mm-hmm.
the support. Remember, I got 3 jobs
Yeah.
on that time.
Yeah.
I was like working UCSD, Palomar Hospital, and Script Hospital
Yeah.
with different jobs. The other one is medical records. That one is surgical tech. And during that time, remember I left 3 o'clock in the morning. I barely see you guys. I go home like what, 1, 2 o'clock, and I have to start again by 4. I enjoyed working
Mm-hmm.
to the point that I got sick. Remember,
Yeah.
but then I said to myself, "Hey, I need to earn more for my kids. I need this money to save up so that when my kids going to school, it's there." But it didn't happen because when the time comes in that
2008.
you're ready to go, and
The collapse of 2008.
Yes.
Yeah.
and everything for me is just like, what in the world happens now, Lord? What it is? And then I start crying again, Lord. And then the Lord pacify us.
Yeah.
We lost everything, but I know you were like, what year is that? Is that you are just like middle school, right?
No, I was like 9.
9 years.
Kuya AJ was in middle school.
Mhm. And I was like crying, and I said, is it my fault that I lost everything again? And all the hardship that I did. I worked 3 hard and 3 work, hard one. And it's gone. But then the good thing is that we never got sick.
Yeah.
And that's even you guys. There's a point in time that I was like crying all the time when that problem comes in and they garnished my salary, and I said, what is the worth of going to work if you don't have any more money to come in and support your family? So I said, I quit.
Mm.
But on that time that we are like on that midst of darkness, it comes into our life. That's the time that I saw the goodness of God. We don't have any money to pay for our rent and everything, and then all of a sudden, money comes in, and I said, Lord, thank you. $1,000 comes into, I don't know where it came from, but it's just like under my name. I just put him in the back, and he went through. That's nice. I said, that's a good experience on that one. And it continues, until 2000, is it 2012? 2000, something like when I lost my job.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another hardship that comes in. I had this problem that happened to us that we lost everything, and all of a sudden I got lost. I lost my job, and because of the governmental thing, because you are working in a hospital, and I went into the system, and I saw everything, and they said, "You're not supposed to be doing that."
Because you violated HIPAA.
I violated HIPAA, and the government is like killing me. And I said, "Oh man!" So I was but I cannot. Even though I tried to find a job again, all of the work that I had, they cut me loose. The scripts, Palomar, UCSD. They said, I think that's for 2 years, right? Even though I applied, they don't accept it
Mm-hmm.
in the field. So I said, okay, why not?
Yeah. What advice do you have for young fathers?
Save money, because the world is different right now. As of now, it's getting harder and harder. Even though it seems like when the pandemic comes in, it looks like a lot of money comes in, and a lot of people, a lot of young kids right now is like buying their own houses, and I envy them because they so under the mentality is totally different. They learn how to save money, and then into their relationship they start like holding up for the future. They think like, I have to save this one so that I can have a future for my family. Not like others are, who cares?
Spending it.
Spending it.
Yeah.
So,
What is one thing that you want your sons to know before you pass away?
that I love you guys so much, and that you guys right now did the best that you can. You are grown up and became a man as you are right now. You guys like all of you three are like working hard. Didn't even ask something for us. To the parents, you just showed to us like we can do it. Like with AJ, he's striving, he's like struggling, but even one time he never asked. I said, "Dad, I need this one. I need this one." No, you two, you guys became a military guys, supported yourself, but instead of us supporting you, you guys are the ones supporting us, which is, I'm so blessed that we have you as our children. And I kept asking Mom, I said, you know what, we are so blessed and lucky. We lost everything, but my children is here. They are the one bringing us together. The happiness that I felt to you guys are like indefinite. Because you are the one who gave us like as a 6 to 8 years old like me, as your dad, really working hard to strive for myself. Not like other people like, oh, I don't want to do this one. I'm too old. I'm just going to sit down and watching TV. And I said, no. I proved to myself I can go work out, I can run, I can still do this one, and be, to have to strive to more longer so that I can be with you guys as long as I can.
I think you're one of the only 60, 70-year-olds that I have actually met in person that still has abs. So, yeah, it's really inspiring to see you working out early in the morning, sometimes even earlier than me. You can't sleep, but as soon as I come down the stairs, you're doing sit-ups or like you come back from a run, or like you're skipping rope outside.
Yes.
So I think that's why like fitness has become such a big staple in my life, because like I see you doing it all the time, trying to keep yourself healthy. And I'm pretty sure people would be surprised that, yeah, like my father is 68. You look much younger than a lot of 68-year-olds out there in the world. But yeah, Pops, you know, when you talk about how we lost everything, those were actually the happiest moments of my life, I think. The collapse of 2008, us losing, like, you guys losing all of the wealth that you hard-earned because of the collapse. But, and I will never forget this. On Mom's podcast, I talked about the basement from Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
But one of my favorite memories was when we were living with Auntie Emma.
Yes.
And we were like living in, I think it was a 200 square foot room, and you and Mom were bunking in the twin bed, and then me and my little brother CJ were bunking at the top. As a man, I definitely would not want to be in that position again, but I just remember how happy I was that we were together. In that time frame, what was going on in your head? Like, was it like, I'm so ashamed, or was it like, we need to get out of here?
You know, the truth is, I was like, I pity myself. You know, I was mad at myself on that time because I'm seeing the situation like, man, I am the father. I am supposed to be the one doing a lot of stuff to make my family, you know, move on. Because, you know, even though things happens to us, you know, I cannot say really big problems, but when things comes in, it comes in. You know, you cannot.
Pours.
But then every time that I woke up and I see you guys, you guys are sleeping, like, and then Inang was there. We were just like a sandwich, and I said, "Oh my goodness, that's really happy." But inside of me, I'm so happy because we are together. Even though we doesn't have any, because of the thing that happens to us, we don't have any more, no means for us to even sometimes, you know, it's hard for us to have food, you know, and because we start going back in, and there's a point in time that I know Mom is the only one who's working and I'm not. Remember, because I'm losing a job, I cannot find a job, and she's the only one having a job. And I said to myself, "Oh my goodness, I cannot even help her." And you guys, you are in the school still. You wanna be, and I was like in myself, I say, in one way, I put to myself like a blame, like I'm a failure as a parent, as a dad, that. I lost my job, and you guys are already going to college, and we lose everything. And that's why I said to myself, I keep on just praying that it just give me some sort of wisdom and understanding that everything that comes in, I will just like forget them. You know, just move on, just move on. That's why I keep on telling you guys, like, oh, you know what? I cannot send you to college anymore because we lost everything. But try to understand that life is like that. So I keep on telling you, like, hey, I want you to be going to the military because I cannot send you to school. You still remember that time?
I do. And I actually remember that the first time I went to like a recruiting session, I think I was like a freshman year. I was a freshman in high school. And I remember thinking, like, the way that the Marine recruiter was talking about it, and I never ended up joining the Marines, but that's how it started. He was like, "Oh yeah, like who like, he asked us to raise our hands. So the Marine recruiter asked us to raise our hands and said, "Who here is really poor?" I raised my hand, and his next question was, "Who here has one meal a day at home?" And then I raised my hand, and then the other one was, "Who here usually eats lunch at school?" And I remember like that was like the biggest thing where I was like, "Oh dang, like we are pretty poor." Like we're pretty hard up. But at the end of the day, like, things got better. Like, even though, like, the collapse of 2008 happened and we were struggling for a bit, things really did get better. And then things got worse, but it wasn't as bad as when we lost everything again. But we had each other. And I think that, like, that teamwork and that cohesiveness meant more. It paid off in spades because, I mean, the Marine recruiter essentially was like, oh, you know, you have a future if you are willing to sacrifice your life for 4 years. And to me at the time, I thought it was such a good deal. I was like, yeah, like, let me sign my life away and let me take accountability.
And at that time, there's a war going on.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though, like, I didn't end up joining until like 7 years later because I was still a freshman in high school at that time. But yeah, I mean, the military was everything. Like, it's why we have properties now. It's why we have, like, the wealth and the assets that we have now, quote unquote. But at the core of it, you guys just took care of us so well. And at the end of the day, I look at it like, you guys say it all the time. It's like, we messed up. We could have done better. In my opinion, that, yeah, you guys aren't perfect parents, but how fortunate enough that you guys were perfect enough for me.
Thank you, Roy.
Yeah. So through all our struggles and through like poverty or, you know, whatever, us being apart for some year, a year, I think, was like the most we've been apart from each other because we were living apart. I'm just blessed.
You still remember when the time when you were just like kids, like when you say, Dad, I think I like McDonald's. and I always says, I got only $5 and I cannot even tell you, like, son, can you just buy $1 a meal? You still remember that?
That's my favorite memory. I think I knew from a young age, I knew how bad we had it, like how bad we were struggling. So in my mind, though, as a kid, I was like, I don't need a Big Mac. I'll take the McChicken or the McDouble. And I love how it's not the healthiest thing in the world to eat, but I think our favorite comfort meal is always like McChicken. Dad, those times that we spent eating McChickens because of how poor we were, to me, is like eating like a Wagyu beef steak because I got to eat it with you. And so to this day, like, yeah, McDonald's is not healthy. Like, please don't eat McChickens every day. But whenever you would come home and like in the times that I could see you and you had days off, eating the McChicken with you with CJ and Kuya AJ, this is such a core memory for me in my childhood. And I know a lot of people who were broke when they were kids and when they were younger feel the same. And it might not be McDonald's, it might be like Burger King or something, but it's kind of funny how powerful $1 is when you really have nothing. And it meant so much that despite us struggling so hard that you were still wanting to spoil us with $1 McChickens.
That's what I always put into my heart. Like, during our good days, when I have 3 jobs and we have a lot of, I could say, money coming in.
Were those really good days if you were working 3 jobs?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm so happy that every Friday we come out, we always go out. And I said, I have to spend this much money. Like I said, I'm going to spend $100 and $200 for my kids. This far, you know. And I always save that money. Mom is giving me like my allowance, and I'm not gonna using it. And I said, this is for my family. I always wanted to be a Saturday at that time so that we can just get out and have a family day. Just my family day, and that's the memory that I always treasure all the time. When everything, like, I remember when CJ says, Dad, so that's McDonald's. That's everything. And she was still like, how old is she? A young
3 or
baby.
4. He would see he didn't even know how to read. He just saw the yellow arches.
And I'm so happy. And then you guys like, and you're the one who's always like, Dad, it's stop. What meant you stop? It's yellow. Then you said, Dad, go all the way.
Time to go to the drive-thru, Pops. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the happy moments that even though we're struggling, but the only good a good thing is that we are together
Mhm.
as a family. Even though I can see that Inang is hard up
Yeah.
and he start getting sick and everything. And
For
then,
reference, Inang means grandmother in Tagalog.
Mhm. you know, and things changes a lot, especially when she died, when your grandma died, passed away, and look like it hits us. That's another problem that comes into our life at that time. I feel like, ugh,
Yeah.
it's hard, but life, you have to move on.
You have to adapt.
You know, and things that we had in California. He says, "Hey, I remember when you said, 'Hey, mom, dad, that's a 4-bedroom house. There, a big house. What you gonna do? I'm here now in Virginia, and inviting you to come with me. I have bought a house for you guys,
Mm.
and it's hard decision that we have because he said." This is the last house that after we losing everything and then we come back and then buy another house. And I said to myself, oh, this is our retirement already. But then mom says, oh, no, it's not mom, it's you. One of you says, what is important to you? Is it money or your family? What did you choose? And I said, I choose my family.
Mm.
And I said, let's go. I decided, I told the mom, said, let's go to Virginia.
Yeah.
And left California. Get rid everything that we had there. It's good. We're going to be okay. It's a wonderful time.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to, I think it's funny because I was telling mom this on our podcast too, but the first year we moved in was pretty difficult. It was pretty rocky just because like I was expecting you guys to just move in like with the clothes off your backs and it's like, oh, like here's everything for you. Not knowing that, all the things that you guys had acquired throughout our life, like my entire life, you'd want to bring that with you.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like that, the growing pains of us living together again, like now that I was established, I had a career, and I was my own man. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what? These aren't my things. But after that year for me was amazing because these past 7 years have been nothing short of a blessing. I read a statistic that most people in America, most kids in America, by the time that they reach 18, they've already lived 85 to 90% of their life with their parents. By the time that they're 18. So the fact that here I am at 27 and here you sit at 68, the fact that I get to know you deeper as a man, not just as my father, it adds a whole new dimension to our conversations and our like how we are, because now you can talk to me and I can understand where you're coming from versus you telling me I can't do something and me like getting really angry because I'm like a 12-year-old and I don't understand. One question that I haven't ever asked you, maybe like for fear of asking this question, how do you see me as a man?
Oh, since remember I was because I said I always keep into myself like Bo is like a reflection of me, And the truth is, everything that I misses, I want to put it in you. I try to, I want you to try to adapt it, even though, I put in myself, like, why am I doing this one? I'm trying to push my son
To do something
to do
that he may
something
not
that he
wanna
doesn't
do.
want to do it, because of the fact that I just wanted him to be like me. And I said, there's something wrong with this one. Sometimes remember that time that time that I asked you, join the Navy, join the military, because that's one of my dreams. Remember, do this one, and then they call him realization that, hey, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like this age right now, and I said, this is wrong. All the things that I keep on telling you guys
Yeah.
are not.
To-
But the only thing is, I always tell you, like, if you like it
Yeah.
or not.
And to be fair, because I remember you stopped me because I was gonna join the army.
Yes,
At that
I
time,
remember that.
at that time, I told you I was gonna be like a combat medic, and you're like, wait, no, like go to college for like a year or two and see. So even though I didn't join the army as a combat medic, I joined the Navy as a combat
Mhm.
medic. So for me, it wasn't really like that big of a deal to make that switch. But I knew that I would make you proud if I joined the Navy because it was
Mhm.
kind of like because you didn't or because you failed
Yeah.
the ASVAB at the time, that I would make you proud if I did. So I will say that when I did, though, and I knew that I made both you and Mom very proud, that was the journey where I started asking myself, how do I make myself proud now? And so with the things that I've done and that you've been observing, like how have I done, Pops? Like in your estimations, like how have I done as a man?
You did pretty good, though. The thing is that since you are the person that very kind, and you love your family and you love us sometimes more than yourselves. Sometimes you wanna try to put everything into us, and you are neglecting yourselves. Sometimes there's a things like, oh, mom, that's like, mom, I bought your house. Dad, I bought you this one. I want you to live here. And sometimes there's a times like we are trying to move. It's like no. We're not gonna take that. We're going to this route and everything. And I can sense that. Oh man, the frustration is in you because you probably put into your mind, say, I bought this house for you and now you don't want it. It's something like that. And that's why when I talked to mom and I said, you know what? In this time, you see your son, Bo, is like really love us so much. He's trying to do everything and leaving nothing for himself. This time, the only thing I can say is like, be yourself now. Do the best that you can do. Forget us, forget anything or whatever. You focus on yourself, because the last 7 years that you had with us, you've given everything that you can. Love us, take care of us, and everything. Honor us in the best way, as we can say. But this time, I said, I want you to go out, live life, whatever, date or whatever, be a man.
Yeah.
As of now, because until you're not doing it and proving to yourself, you are broken. You have to put yourself together in the pieces. Because as of now, all your hearts is with somebody else, with other people. If somebody asks you, I need help, you are there because that's your character, that's your nature. You're always like, here, take this one. Now, my advice to you is keep yourself now. Stand your feet on your own ground now as a mature man, and because you already established yourself, you already do the best that you can. Now, do it for yourself, not for others, because it will make you whole doing that. You can see things now clearly. Before you was like, mom needs this one. Dad needs this one. Dad needs a shoes. I'm gonna buy it. No. Always remember, we have our own lives. You have your own.
Yeah.
Now, try to be your own now.
One of the hard things I actually had to realize, like I remember it was a quote, maybe not even a quote, but it was just something that you said to me. Because I asked you, I said, Pops, what's the difference between a boy and a man? And I remember you said, a boy is somebody who does not know the weight of responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
A man takes responsibility when he's not asked. So I think in like a almost like backwards twisted honor type of way, I put it on myself that like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Like Pops is right. Like I'm going to do everything I can for my family. I'm going to buy them a house. I'm like if Dad wants new shoes, I'll buy that too. Like, I want to pay for every single meal out. And yeah, honestly, like I do kind of regret some things. Maybe like I went too extreme, I think. That it came to the point to where maybe it felt like you guys weren't doing anything for us. And it really made me realize that that's not how relationships work. If I were to constantly do things for you guys, yeah, like I really wouldn't have anything left for myself. Or I would eventually become like getting really bitter. And the way that I look at it too is I was trying to take the reins of responsibility when nobody was asking me, but it wasn't in good taste sometimes.
Yes.
And so I recognize that now, that even though you said that, it's not like you guys were like ill-bodied. Like you guys weren't sick. I mean, we were there for Mom when she had cancer, taking care of her. So like that at that point though, I think that's when I was like, oh, like I need to do everything, like every single thing, because Mom has cancer. And I think that kind of just leaked out into life later on. But I do recognize that, yeah, like the best way I can honor you guys now that like the material things, like, oh, like I got them a house. Oh, like if you guys want a car, like I can get that. The best way I can honor you guys now is to like do the best I can to live for myself.
Yeah.
And it was so hard to let go of that concept of like, cause like it was almost as if like our positions like were switched, where it was like, oh, like why am I paying the mortgage? Like I'm supposed to be the kid, like my parents are. So I can only imagine how you guys must have felt. And so it's like that two-way street of like, are you guys sure you don't want help? Are you guys? And yeah, like I now recognize that I actually, if we're going full circle, I was never doing it for you guys. I was doing it for me. I think I was doing it to like feed my ego. I was doing it to feed like, you know, that I could do it, that I could prove it to myself. And it's such a weird feeling to sit here like as a fellow man and look at you and say that. Because it's like, was I doing it for my mom and dad? It's like, did I buy my mom and dad a house for them? And it's like, I don't know. I think you did all that for you. You did all that for you, Bo Deseo, not for them. And when I had like that realization, I was like, oh, this is like really twisted. And it's a good thing, right? On paper, people will say, oh, you bought your parents a house. But is that really for you? I now think I can reflect and say that it was for me.
Yeah. Because sometimes that's why sometimes arguments comes in from to Mom, you, and
CJ.
Yeah. Is that because for a fact that as a parents, we love you guys so dearly. We try to bring everything that we can just for you. But then I told to Mom, like, it's true. It's supposed to be like that way. But the thing also is that when they grow up and they now become a full-grown man, they are responsible for themselves already too, you know. And I told Mom, say, try to, get away sometimes, you know. For example, as a parent, like in the Philippines, they said, oh, my kid doesn't love me anymore because they don't even call me when they're gone, something like that. There's a lot of things like that. Became emotionally, which is especially for the mother. But for dad, it's totally different because I keep telling her, hey, give them space. Let him go. Because I'm a dad.
Let them make their mistakes.
Let them make their mistake. And Mom says, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, stop. I said, stop it. Stop babysitting them. Just let them face, their own peers and wars. They
No
can.
problems.
They have their own problems,
Yeah.
and they. That's why I always say before. I don't want to say it, but I keep on telling him, let them suck it up. That's what I say.
Let them suffer.
Suffer.
Let them handle it.
And then learn from their mistake or whatever, and move on.
I'm fortunate that it was nice to have both, like mom would coddle us. Like she would, but she was also the one that was like really hot-headed.
Yeah.
Versus you were the one that would let us make our mistakes, but you were like the soft hand in the relationship. I'm really glad that you identified that like really, really early on. Because imagine if you guys were both really hard on us, or you guys were both too soft, then there wouldn't have been that perfect balance. And letting us make our own mistakes. And yeah, like you and mom might have had some arguments over that because it's like why are you like against me? Like why? But you as a man realizing that one of us needs to be soft. We can't both be hard. And the fact that you never coddled me, like it was always that, what are you doing, son? Get up, and then sometimes it'd be like, get up. What are you doing? Get up. And there have been very hard moments in life, especially like in the military, where I would just hear your voice. It's like, just adapt, son. Just adapt. Get up and adapt. And the way that you raised me and my brothers, but since we're talking together, the way that you raised me has propelled myself. Or I'm sorry, the way that you raised me gave me the tools and the knowledge to propel me so far forward in life. And I recognize that sometimes I'm the hammer, sometimes I'm the nail. Oftentimes I'm always the nail. But if it wasn't for your lessons, Pops, and your love and your guidance in the hard times and the good times too, I don't know what type of man I'd be. So, unfortunately, I think the camera battery is actually about to die pretty soon.
Oh.
But, yeah. But
Okay.
Do you have any questions or closing comments for me before we close out?
Oh, the only thing that I can say is that thank you that I have a son like you. Raise a son like big, as successful as you are right now.
I don't know
You
about that.
Because as of a younger age, you're like, you had acquired a lot of things, by yourselves. And I'm so honored about that. And I can feel to myself like, hey, I can feel like it's me, because whatever you attain, I attained it too. And I said,
Yeah.
oh man, my voice like this.
Mhm.
I'm so happy about it.
Mm.
Not even you, but all of you guys, like Kuya AJ, CJ, because I never treat you guys as like one, like what I like this one. I tried to.
You never
look at-
favored us.
You were all the same for me.
Yeah, it was like a baseline of like, in the moment, it's like, you guys all make me proud or you guys all make me disappointed.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And I'm so happy to the person you become right now. And I always put into your heart, like we're always here for you, and we love you so much. The three boys, the three kings that I had, because you are my life. Without you guys, I don't know. I always trying to be physically fit right now because I need to be with you guys, and that's why I keep on telling you guys go work out, because
Yeah.
you need them.
Yeah.
Make your life longer.
Yeah.
It's good. And to all the the fathers that's listening or
May listen.
may listen. It might not pertain to you, the one I said, but for me, the things that I said the most is that learn how to adapt. Adaptability is a very good one because it pertains to anything. As a whole, you as a person.
And it's propelled me so far forward. I'm not a father. It would be nice to be. Still have to meet the right woman. But adaptability has brought me so far forward. Is there anything else, Dad?
I think that's all for me right now. They can see that I'm so happy doing this one too with you, my boy.
Yeah.
And hey, and I pray that this will continue because you are impacted a lot of people in this one. In your own way, you had this moment that you can share something that they can pick it up.
Trying.
Good or bad, at least you prove to yourself like, hey, I can do this one. And pretty soon this thing will still continue or not anymore. But in a lot of others people's mind and hearts, this thing helps a lot.
That's the hope. I think the greatest thing we could ever do as men is to help inspire.
Yes.
And if the podcast helps inspire men to spur them to action, and the women too, I mean, it doesn't have to just be men, that it inspires somebody to change their life with one habit and one step, to adapt. If the podcast helps somebody adapt to their situation and make them stronger, better men, then I've been successful. And I just needed to help one person, but the fact that I helped more than one person already.
Proud of you.
Thank you, Pops.
Proud of you.
And I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm proud to call you my Pops.
You're my son. You're like, I have a great family. I cannot even say anything anymore. I'm happy. And as a 68-year-old man, and I reached this age still, because most of my classmates died already. Passed away.
Yeah.
And I'm still here. I'm still kicking.
Still kicking.
Good.
Yeah, just keep training so you can chase the future grandkids around.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for.
I just, I gotta get there first. Nobody wants me.
Hey, it will come,
Yeah.
Be
But,
still.
Rafa. That's actually, before we leave, that's something that has really, the fact that Rafa in the Bible means to surrender your heart, to surrender your weapons, your shield, and like just put it on God's path. It's brought me so much peace in the fact that if I just surrender to my path, I will live the life that I was meant to. Maybe it's not the life that I wanted, but it's the life that I was meant to. I think and I'm glad that you never said this, Dad, but the biggest lie we're ever told in society is you can be anything you want. You never told me that. You were always saying, son, become everything you were meant to be. And I love that because obviously I'm not going to become an NBA player. I'm short. I mean, we're both short. But I could become a good martial artist. I could become a writer. I hopefully in the next 7 to 8 years I'll be a doctor, because of my degree path to psychology. Who knows? But all I know is that in this moment and in this season, I have a wonderful father and a wonderful mother, and our conversation is going to live on forever because it's going to be on the internet.
Okay. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, Pops. But with that being said, I guess it's time to close out. All right, Pops. Guys, the grass is not greener on the other side. It is greener where you water. But do take care not to shrink yourself for spaces you've outgrown. My friends, as always, be well and walk tall. To all the fathers, happy Father's Day.
Thank you. That's a good one.